A very good morning to you. Welcome to the midweek edition of Sports this morning. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
It's great to have you join us again. I'm Taya Salah.
All right, let's start you off with football. The most prestigious cup competition is back again. Feast of football in Nigeria today. The Aito Cup round of 16 for the men and the women. There's so much to offer today in the Aito Cup.
Yes, still on the show. Let's talk. Yeah, we're still talking football, and the Eagles have a new boss. I'm not talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm talking of the Eagles of Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson is the new boss of the Crystal Palace. He replaces Frank de Boer, who was sacked after 4 games in charge.
All right, still talking football again. A special night for football in Europe. The UEFA Champions League is back, and on day 1, in 8 matches, 27 goals scored. Feast of goals on day 1.
Yes, I mean, everything we expected match day 1 to be in the UEFA Champions League, it turned out to be so, and I expect a lot more goals later tonight when action will continue in the UEFA Champions League from Group E to H. So that's it for the UEFA Champions League. We'll come back to it later on the show, but let's start today's show with the appointment of Roy Hodgson as the new manager of Crystal Palace. I mean, that's been on the horizon for a while, ever since, as soon as Frank de Boer got sacked, it became obvious, and Roy Hodgson became the odds-on favorite to replace him. And that confirmation, we got it yesterday night, that Roy Hodgson is indeed the new manager of the Eagles of Crystal Palace. We all know him. The last job he was in was as manager of the Three Lions of England, and he resigned after Euro 2016. So he's back in business now. He's back coaching at the very top level. But the question now is this the right appointment? I mean, we can debate this from now to the end of the season. But what is sure is he's got enough time to turn the fortunes of Crystal Palace around. I mean, just 4 games into the season, they've lost all 4. He still has another 34 to go, so that's enough time to
turn things around.
Right. So it's a good appointment from his own part. On his own part, it's good to be back coaching at the top level, and he has enough time to make things happen for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, good one for Crystal Palace. If you look into the mind of Steve Parish and the other guys, I think they're already thinking damage limitation, but I can argue against that. Just 4 matches to be played. No disrespect to Roy Hodgson. I put him in the same bracket as Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis, Mark Hughes. All of those guys, what do they have in common? Stability. They can stabilize the club for you. Well, if you want to take it a notch higher and start saying good football, winning the league, I don't know. But if you're looking at the manager, and I guess the guys at Crystal Palace initially thought, well, we could play some good football, brought in someone who, tried to bring his philosophy. And they said, look, this isn't working. Let's give us somebody. And if you look at the golfing class between the top clubs like United, Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool, the only way these guys can survive in the English Premier League is to lock shop. And I think most of them are seeing it that way. You're probably, maybe apart from Bournemouth, and you can see what's going on at Bournemouth now anyway, that's probably the only club in that, range zone that's always trying to play, good football. For all the others, it's survival. So I'm not surprised at this stage that the guys there are already thinking survival. Yeah,
survival of the fittest, and that's what really matters in the Premier League. I mean, I don't think Crystal Palace are trying to win the Premier League.
No.
Yeah, they try to be ambitious by bringing in Frank de Boer, a manager from the continent with his philosophy in quotes. Someone that came from the Ajax setup. That hasn't worked for them, and they've decided to make that choice as early as possible to avoid any serious damage.
Like they say,
as the season progresses.
Like they say, Tayo, in the part of Nigeria where I'm from, if you don't know where you're going to, at least you know where you're coming from.
You go back there.
And so
that's what it's done. So fair play to Steve Parish and the Crystal Palace owners. But Roy Hodgson is an absolute veteran in football. I mean, he's coached I've lost count, almost 16 clubs. He's been coaching for a long time.
He's very good in situations like this.
Right.
I think there was time he took over West Brom.
Right.
Even when he took over the Three Lions job, they sacked the manager close to a tournament 3 months before the tournament. He knows how to do that. So I don't have any problem.
Right. And yeah, since you mentioned it, the last time he was in a coaching job was West Brom. That was in 2012. Do you think that time off from coaching a club, which is totally different from coaching a national team, do you think that's going to have any effect on what he's able to do at Crystal Palace?
No, I don't think so. Nah. He's handled more clubs than national teams. He's done well. I think his biggest job, in my opinion, was the job at Inter. And
Liverpool?
My opinion, I said my opinion.
Spell,
because he handled a lot of top players.
Right, got them to the final of the UEFA Cup.
So for me, in my books, but if you're looking for a guy who's good on a rescue mission, Royalton.
Perfect appointment according to Yemi, for Crystal Palace. Let's get on with the show, and this time let's talk boxing. And Yemi, we talked about Anthony Joshua yesterday and Kubrat Pulev getting ready for that all-important, very crucial world heavyweight title fight on October the 28th. And the news is just a few hours after the tickets went on sale, 70,000 tickets were sold. That's incredible. That's a record. And I'm not surprised that we talked about how everyone, a lot of fans, both the purists and the casual fans out there, they seem to have a thing for Anthony Joshua, and they feel he is that guy, he's the next guy. And I'm not surprised they showed that by actually going out to pick up the tickets for that fight, which is still a long way ago, but 70,000 tickets have been sold. It's a record-breaking situation in Cardiff, and not surprised to me at all.
No surprises. Like we said yesterday, there's an appeal about Joshua. Everybody wants to see purists, people who love boxing.
Right.
They're like, there's a sort of, I don't want to use the word democracy, but that's what comes to my mind. Joshua has opened things up.
Right.
And now, and one thing Joshua has going for him, is ready for the big fights. He's talking about the big fights. For some other person, it would be about consolidation. That's what some others would do. I remember when David Haye was champion and Tyson Fury was chasing him all around. He just didn't give Tyson Fury a fight.
This guy is not ducking anyone.
No, it's not. He's not. He's talking about Deontay Wilder. At some point, he said, "Look, give me Tyson Fury," because it seems all of you are talking about. So let's give British.
Let the guys what you want to watch.
So and that's him. He's not running from anybody.
Right.
We'll see what happens with Pulev. I mean, he could have chosen to fight somebody else. There are days when people
advocate his belt. But I mean, you don't fight all those fights.
There are times we've seen champions avoid who they're supposed to avoid, mandatory challengers. I mean, back in those days when we grew up watching boxing, when somebody's a mandatory challenger, nobody just avoids that because you want to be a true champion. But nowadays, boxers are just mercenaries. It's all about money. It's all about staying in that position because he attracts a lot of things for them. But Joshua is not that guy. After this fight, if Tyson Fury is able to clean himself up, if he doesn't, maybe Deontay. I mean, we're already hearing about Ortiz as well, so we'll see what happens.